Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Sometimes we call it Transformation Tuesday. Sometimes we call it Truth Love Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Welcome to Energize Live. We make magic here in the mornings. We watch the sunrise and energize. Oh my goodness, we have so much to talk about. Listen. You don't even know what I've done. So we've been talking about this last weekend when I put up those question boxes and said, okay, what do we want to talk about? What do we want to have conversations about? What kind of topics do you want to dive more deeply into? When I asked you that, there were so many. And then I asked you to get more specific, and there were so many more. And look, I have taken all your answers and I have put them in a document that is 4 pages of stuff that you want to talk about. Because, I didn't want you just... I'm showing this to you because I want you to know this is how much I value. If you took your time to put something in a comment box about which you wanted to have conversation on, I'm saving it. So here it is. It's kind of divided into, this is more like Beachbody coaching, how I built my business. This is personal development, and this is lifestyle, family, truth love. This is funny. This is truth love. I would like truth love. What do you think you're getting every morning, my friend? What do you think you get? You need to tell me that. You need to tell me. You would like more. What? Who are you? What are you even saying? Disney. And under general, just compliments. I like the balance and the variety. I love all the things. I love all the things. I think that's so funny. So anyway, this is what we have. And this is a living, breathing document because I think it's so important to continue to have conversations around what you want to have conversations around. And I want to continue to add to this. So I think every once in a while, I'm just going to continue to put those question boxes up. And then as you add new stuff in there, we'll add it to this document. Sound good? So I did have a topic for, first of all, we have to make some Energize. I did have a topic that I get a lot of questions on. I talked about it on our post-summit event. I saw it brought up in a small mentoring group that we just started yesterday. I just started this really small mentoring group. It was kind of an invite-only group for my coaches who have a big goal. And okay, perfect. Lid and cup. And I saw that this topic was brought up in that small mentoring group. It was brought up at the post-summit event that I did. It gets brought up almost every time I'm talking, I think, because I have a little bit of a reputation for addressing it. Do you want to know what it is? Do you want to make a guess? Do you want to make a guess while I get water? What is a topic that I get in terms of business and coaching and building a business? What do you think is a topic that I might be sort of known for or get questions on? Put it in the comments. Women and income. So good. Is it lack of support? Women and income? Habits? Yes, yeah, that's a great guess. Habits. Women and income, also great guess. Other guesses? Other motivation. What does that mean though? Motivation in terms of what? Getting into habits and getting out of your head? Yes to all of those. You're correct. All of you are correct. Also, if you're new here to Energize Live, and I feel like we have so many new members of our family, which is amazing. Truth love's not a topic, y'all. Truth love is not a topic. That's why I was laughing so hard when people were putting in the question box, we'd like more truth love. What does that mean? That's just a way of communicating. It's not a topic. Ask better questions. Said with love. Women changing the world via their work. Okay. 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 Oh, I'm almost out of my collagen. I'm almost out. I'm making a mess. So for those of you that may be newer to Energize Live, first of all, welcome, and we're so happy that you're here. Like, I think I think people are like, wait, like you do this every day? Like we do this every day. This is how we start our day. This is like getting up and making Energize. I'm going to make Energize anyway. Why would I want to do that by myself? So yes, we're back again. The conversations are usually pretty powerful. Sometimes they're just kind of fun and light, but we don't do a lot of light. We do a lot of fun and impactful. But part of being in Energize Live is that it's participatory. So we need to make sure that we have our little thumbs over by our comment box if you are new. And you can also use the question box there. But this is not just a lay around and absorb. It really only works if you're engaged. I switch the comment back to be sure. That is not Brenna, that's not a question that I get all the time. Okay, back to the question or the topic that I get all the time. Are you ready? Some of you already got it. The question that when it comes up, often like heads will swivel to me and they'll be like, give JV the mic. And that is the topic of spouse/partner support. I get that question all the time. Spouse/partner support. And I noticed it came up last night in our mentoring group. And I had this question at our post-summit event as well. And I have so many thoughts on it. And it is funny because I think a lot of we have so many incredible women in this business. I mean, it's heaven on earth for women in business because there's so many incredible women in this business. And so really any of the top coaches in the Beachbody business could speak on this because they've all, dealt with it. But listen, I have some really strong thoughts on this. And I think a lot of these strong thoughts do come from having a spouse who has a very strong passion as well. So my husband was a collegiate football coach. It was all he's ever done. And I had to learn very early on that was as much of what he did as it was who he was, right? And I remember dating, and on Sundays, so there would be a game when he was coaching. He was at the University of Illinois when we started dating, so Big Ten football, and we would have a game on Saturday, and then on Sunday he was breaking down film all day long. And when I say all day long, I mean, I'm not kidding you. People do not understand the hours that collegiate football coaches put in. It's ridiculous, especially for the pay. If you think that every football coach has a multi-million-dollar contract, you crazy. Not happening. You crazy, girl. Not happening. And that when we were dating, we'd have this game on Saturday. So I might see him, if it was a home game, I might see him at Saturday night after the game. And then on Sunday, it would be like he would go into the office at 8 a.m., but he wouldn't be home till 11. And I'm like, what the actual freak are you doing? You're making this up. This can't be right? You can't, this can't be you can't literally be breaking down film for 18 hours. However, at no point in that conversation did he ever feel like he needed to justify to me the hours that were being put in, or to validate or say, no, this is my job and this is actually how long it takes. I'm going to be honest with you. It's taken me a lot of years to understand what takes so long to break down film. And once I finally, when we were married, I'm like, I'm going to need to know what actually takes so long. And when he went through it, I went, oh, that makes sense. However, it really didn't matter if I understood it or not. That was the job, and that was what he was doing, So there's no, well, I hope she supports me, or I mean, you know what I'm saying? This is the job, and it's going to take this many hours, and here we go. So I think coming into this business with a little bit of that, having a spouse who has a passion helped. But I'm also I'm a Scorpio. I'm a very passionate person. There's a weird noise outside. Oh, it must be the sprinklers turning on. That's right. I'm a very passionate person. And, you know, I liked teaching group exercise, I liked teaching high school English. I didn't love it, but what I liked was teaching. And when I fell into fitness, it was my passion. And I just went 100% all in. Kind of like my husband went 100% all in with football. It was his passion. He just loved it, even on the hard days. I found fitness. I found coaching. It is exactly why I'm put here on this earth. I know that. Now, here's the deal. My husband, your partner, he, she, they, does not need to love the thing you do like you do. I do not love football. It took me years to I love football. I do not love football like he does. It took me years to understand why it takes like 20 hours to break down game film. It took me years to understand why it's so time consuming to plan for and prep practices and game plans. And I did not get it. It did not matter. He felt no need to validate that to me or ask me permission for those hours. This was the job. And because it was his passion, I supported it, because that's what marriage is. That's what partnership is. That's what a relationship is. When I found group fitness, when I found master training, when I found coaching, I didn't really need to justify or validate that to him. It was my passion. And he has never, in the entirety of our marriage, come to one of my group fitness classes and taken a group fitness class from me. Okay? Up until this point, he has not built his own coaching business. Because he couldn't with NCAA, but he has not built his own coaching business. He does not know the names of every single one of my leader coaches on my team. That does not matter. It does not matter that I do not love football like he does. It does not matter that he does not know all my coaches' names or whatever. That does not matter. What matters is your partner has a passion. Your partner loves something. You support that because you love your partner. End of discussion. It doesn't matter whether I loved football or not. What mattered was that I loved my husband. You love your partner. You love your spouse. He, she, they. And if you love them, by default, you support their thing. And let me get really clear on this. Listen to me closely. This business that I'm in, this business is incredible coaching business, which is based on personal development and growth, because you can't build a business unless you grow yourself. Period. End of discussion. Period. End of discussion. You will not grow a business unless you grow yourself. End of discussion. This personal development business, which is based on growth and elevating yourself and leveling up. And oh, by the way, you can also get healthy and fit and make money. Okay. This business is not the source of problems in someone's relationship. This business only illuminates the problems in your relationship. I said what I said. If there are problems in your relationship and one of you is growing and working through it and leveling up and getting better and the other is not, that is not a business problem. That is a relationship problem. The business only illuminates the relationship problems, period. So if your spouse isn't supporting you, number one, is he not supporting your passion? That's a relationship problem. Number two, have you had a honest, heart-to-heart conversation with your spouse, with your partner, about what you want to do with said passion, whatever it is? Whatever it is. I mean, I knew early on, I could tell, even though, I'm married to a man, so I'm using this as an example. Insert who you're married to. Even though my husband's not the most articulate in his emotions, he didn't have the emotional language to say to me, my purpose here on earth is to help young men become better humans, and I'm going to use the game of football to do it. He didn't have the emotional language to say that, but I figured that out pretty early on, that it was bigger than the game of football. It was the vehicle to help him help young men become better versions of themselves. Guess what I get to do? I'm a coach. It's the vehicle that I get to help women become better versions of themselves, right? So when you understand that your partner is living in their purpose and their passion, and they're following something that is really calling to them and is lighting them up, why would you want to diminish that? You want your partner to be a lesser version of themselves? Why would you want your partner to not be on freaking fire for life? Why would you not want to level up with your partner? Why would you not want to grow with your partner? Why do you want your partner to sit down and turn off their light? It's a relationship problem. It's not a business problem. We're going to go outside and see the sunrise. We're going to continue this conversation because I have something else to say about it too. First of all, before we go, I'm not going to take these because we have our topic for today. We have our topic for today. But before I share the other piece that I'm going to share, tell me what your thoughts are on what I've shared so far. Agree? Disagree? Is it a little bit of a zinger? Is it a little bit of, oh, crap, right. Here's the thing. My husband grew up in a very conservative, patriarchal Republican family, okay? He just did. That was just that was just what he grew up in. 3 boys, very patriarchal, very conservative, okay? Good humans, but very patriarchal. My husband could be the biggest douche in the world, okay? Now, he wouldn't be my husband, I don't think. However, we got married when we were like 12. So to his credit, we have grown with each other. And, now we're in a season too where it's another opportunity to level up and another opportunity to grow together too, because now we're in a whole brand new season of our life. But he could be a total D-bag because of what he grew up in. So I give him so many kudos. My daughters and I talk about this all the time. He could be a total douche. Probably I wouldn't be married to him, but I don't know. Literally, we got married when we were 12. I don't know. So you have to communicate, okay? So going back to, if you have a passion and you've got something you want to do, you have to have that that conversation with your partner, your spouse. I say husband a lot only because that's my situation. So it doesn't have to be yours. Please insert in. I don't care if you're married to a goat. I don't care. Human rights, y'all. Human rights. So I want to give you this one example, and I think I've shared it before. When we were living in Carmel, and I think I even shared it at the post-summit event. We were living in Carmel. There was a light out in our hallway. Oh my God, Brooke, listen, our anniversary was Sunday, and the girls, because we moved, we've gone through all these pictures and stuff. And the girls were like, who are these? They were like snapping pictures of these pictures that we found, and we're storing. The girls were like, who let you two get married? You were children. They're like, they say, I'm like, Jenna, do you know that my oldest, when I was your age, I was married and you were born. She's like, who let you two get married? You two were children. You were children. I'm like, I know. We were like, da, 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 da. I know. Anyway, I digress. So when we were living in Carmel, upstairs hallway, there was a light bulb that was out in the hallway. This is me walking by. Oh, hey, JV, the light's out. Da-da-da. The next day, light's still out. I'm like, oh, hey, JV, the light bulb's out. Day 3. Hey, JV, the light bulb's out. Because in my mind, I think in a female's mind, we make then the natural connection. Light bulb's out, we should change it. Light bulb's out, we should change it. Now, as a football coach's wife, I did everything. Okay? I did everything. So every once in a while, there'd be things around the house where I'm just like, I'm just not doing it, and he's got to do it. It just is. I'm like, hey, light bulb's out. Because in my mind, that meant change the light bulb. In his mind, that meant she was simply observing the fact that the light bulb is out. On day 4, I said, hey, JV, the light bulb's out. Would you please change it? What happened on day 4? Y'all, we've been married a long time. What happened on day 4? Light bulb got changed. Here's me assuming that because we've been married for so long, he would read my mind. I'm going to tell you right now, men don't know how to read minds, okay? I'm going to tell you that right now. They don't connect the dots, and they don't know how to read minds. And if you're just walking around going, the light bulb is out, they're not making the natural next step to I should change it, okay? That's on me. That's called communication. So if you have a passion, if you have a calling, if you have something you want to do with whatever it is, and in this case, it's a business, and I'm using that as an example because it came up in my small mentoring group, and it came up in the questions on my Instagram, like how do you get your spouse to support you? Number 1, you have a conversation. I remember having a conversation with my husband when I went out to California to apply/interview to become a master trainer. I had been teaching group exercise. I got the incredible opportunity to be a master trainer for Chalene Johnson and train other fitness instructors in her formats, Turbo Kick and Pyo, eventually Insanity and others. And I went out to California. I was still pretty new in the fitness industry, maybe a year, and went out. It was literally like a 4-day long interview. It was, oh my God, it was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done in my entire life. It was so amazing. I was so uncomfortable. There was so much growth. I thought I was going to puke the whole time I was there. And I remember calling my husband and having a very honest conversation saying, I think this can be such an incredible opportunity, but I'm going to have to work at it. I'm going to need hours of time. I'm going to have to be disciplined. I need a space to work in. And having a conversation about, I think this master training gig can really turn into something special. And we had a conversation around it. And he's like, oh, you love it? All right, cool. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Communication. So if you have entered into a business and you see the potential and you are not communicating that to your partner or spouse, that's on you, not on them. They can't read your mind. If you have entered into a business opportunity that has incredible potential and you've been in a space like Summit where you've seen it, but they weren't there with you, they don't have that vision in their mind, and you may not have communicated what you want to do with this business. Listen, I'm not very smart. Okay, I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not very smart, but I will tell you one of the first actions I took after getting into this business, and it was 8 months in when I understood what I could do with this business. It was 8 months, okay? So it took me 8 months to go for the light bulb to turn on, and the business was so new. The business was a teeny tiny little, even newborn baby, like in little swaddling clothes. So not very many people knew what this business could do. And 8 months in, I happened to be in a room with a speaker, and I don't know what he said, but I do remember how he made me feel, and the light bulb turned on, and I knew I could do something with this business. And later that day, someone, as the universe always does, tests you. Someone says, what do you want to do with this business? And I said, I'm going to take my family back to Disney with it. I was 8 months into my business. The light bulb clicked. I said, I'm going to take my family back to Disney with this business. I'm going to pay for it. And I went home from that trip that I was on, that work trip. I was in California for a work trip for master trainers, and I went home from that trip and I looked at my family and I said, we're going to Disney and I'm going to pay for it immediately. So again, I'm not the smartest tool in the tool shed, but I very early on included my family in everything I've done with this business. Everything that I've done with this business. And there's no greater accomplishment to me than when I had the great honor to receive the CEO award and my daughter was sitting right there next to me. That doesn't happen if you haven't been talking about it and including them for 14 years. They're in the car when I'm doing conference calls. They're sitting beside me when I'm on a mastermind with other leader. Jesse sits beside me when I'm doing a superstar mastermind. It's from the beginning, they've known what I want to do with this business. Even when my goals were small, even when I just want to buy a pair of Nikes. Even from the beginning, they've known. So even if they didn't understand, I didn't understand what I was doing then. I still included them. So when friction or tension might come up, since we've already had that conversation about what I wanted to do with the business, it was much easier to go back and go, hey, remember why I'm doing this? Remember? And then this is the last piece that I'll say about that for today. I mean, I could talk about this all day long, but this is the last piece I'll say about this. And again, this might sting some of you, but it's Truth Love Tuesday, so it is what it is. If you want your partner to support you in anything, you already know what I'm going to say. If you want your partner to support you in anything, and you're doing a trade-off here, like you're spending time building your business, which, by the way, women, is okay, right? You're a multifaceted human being. You don't have to just care for the kids. You can do things that are just for you. Make them something of significance. Make them something that gives back to the world. Make a difference. If you want your spouse to get on board with the business that you want to build, number one, communicate your goals to your partner or your spouse so they know what you want to do. And number two, make some effing money. Make some money. Get over yourself and make some money. Make some money. Okay? Now listen to me very closely. If you look at me and go, oh, I just want to help people. I don't want to make any money. Get off this right now. Get off. Get off Energize Live right now. I don't have time for you because, listen, awesome that you have all the money in the world that you want. Guess what? There's a lot of people in this world who don't. And if you have a business opportunity sitting in your hands and you're not using it for the betterment of this world, you're not my person. Get out. I said what I said. I'm also going to say this very clearly to you. If you are a parent of little children, and listen, I lived this, so I'm going to tell you from experience. If you are a parent of small children and you have a business opportunity in your hands and you're like, oh, I'm just really comfortable, I don't need any more money, you have no idea what your children will come to you and ask you to do. I had no idea that Josie, our middle, at age 3 would find ballet. It would be her heart's calling. And that I would need to pay for multiple summer intensives every summer at $5,000 or $6,000 a pop, or private lessons, or point shoes, multiple a month at $120 a pop. I had no idea. I had no idea that Jenna, our oldest, would want to do Drum Corps International at the highest level, and it would cost me thousands of dollars. I had no idea that Jesse would want to do musical theater and go to a private school in New York and take private voice lessons, private dance lessons, private coaching, summer intensives, weekend intensives, private school. I had no idea. And if you are the parent of a little and you're like, but I'm just comfortable. Well, if your child comes to you and goes, I'd like to go to Harvard, or I'd like to go to NYU, which is like $80,000 a year. I'd like to go to NYU. I'd like to go to Harvard. I'd like to go to medical school. I'd like to go to the Olympics. What if they come to you? Don't know. That's the thing. I had no idea. You don't know. And if you have a business opportunity in your hands and you're so worried about what other people think, or you can't communicate with your spouse, or you can't get your head out of your you-know-what to go make some freaking money, then you have to look at your child and go, well, I could have helped you, but now I can't because I couldn't get out of my own way and have a conversation with your dad or mom. I couldn't have a conversation and just tell them, I actually have this business and I've got some goals and I can make some money. I couldn't get out of my own way. So I have to tell you no. Try that on for size and see how that feels. Because I decided that sucked. So I simply made a decision that whatever it took to build this business, I was going to do because my family was that important. Period. End of discussion. So on the other end of that spectrum, I think about my dearest friend, Christy Andringa, who never thought that one random day in December, her husband would get a diagnosis of stage 4 colon cancer and 2 years of really hard care and chemo and all the things, to no avail. And now here she is. And now what? And, she's been in this business as long as I have, and she's got it right here in her hands, and she's building it. And the entire time that Rob was sick, she had this business, and now she's got this business. And what if she hadn't? So if you've got something in your life that you're passionate about, and you have a big goal with it, you have small goals with it, you have goals with it, you just want to pursue it and see what happens. You have to have the conversation with your partner, and then you need to do the work to show the results, period. And if they question you at any point in time, you come back to, we had a conversation about this, and you know what I'm trying to do with my business. We've had a conversation about this, and then you get back to work. And at any point in time, you are revisiting that conversation if you need to, because the worst thing you can do is tell your family you've got goals and you're going to do the work, and then you don't. And you sit on your phone and you scroll around and you say you're doing all the things and you're not, and you're scared to invite, and you're scared to put yourself out there, and then you get to the end and you didn't build this business that you told your family you were going to build for them. Who trusts you now? Because you didn't even keep your promise. You said, I got a business. It can change our lives, and I'm going to build it, and I'm going to do these amazing things for my family. And then you don't? Who trusts you now? I said what I said. So that, my friends, is your Energize Live this morning, and I appreciate that topic. I appreciate it getting asked. I appreciate the opportunity to share a life of experiences with you to hopefully shorten your learning curve. It's July 26th. It's Tuesday. Did you nail what you wanted to nail yesterday? Are you nailing the goals that you have for this year? We're in the we're at the end of the 7th chapter of this book of 2022. We're about to enter the 8th chapter. Are you doing what you said you wanted to do in January? Are you keeping the promise to your family, to your team, to yourself? Are you keeping your promise? Are you keeping your word? Are you showing up like you said you were going to? Because as Brendan Burchard said at Summit last week, and it's stuck with me ever since because I so deeply resonate with the concept and the mindset and the action of showing up. Showing up's required to change. You don't have to keep up with everybody else, but you have to show up. And are you keeping your promise to yourself and showing up? Because you still have time left this year, but you better get to work. You better have those conversations, you better set those goals, and you better get to work. Because we don't get any of this back. None of this is promised, and we don't get any of it back. So let's get to work. Let's keep our promises, and let's make some freaking money. Here you go. It's a very, let's go over here. Because I think you can see, someday I'm going to fall in this pool live on Instagram and it's going to be like, it'll go viral, okay? I don't know if you can see it as well. I'm trying to touch the screen to try to, there it is. Look at that gorgeous cloud. Look at that. Look at that. So we get this today. You get an opportunity to see this today. You get another one of these today. So now you have to decide what you're going to do with it. You're going to go communicate. You're going to go have conversations. You're going to go keep your promise to yourself. You're going to go do the work so that you can create the life that you want to create on purpose with purpose. Yeah? Okay. I'll see you tomorrow morning. And remember, I'm just a DM away. If you've got any questions, you have any thoughts, you DM me. It is me. It's me answering my DMs. It's just me. Just me. So I'm just a DM away with questions and thoughts. If you've got a friend who needs to be in our Energize Live community, please share this with them. Please share this on your Instagram. I just want to have more powerful conversations with more women so that we can create more change. I want to affect more change in this world. I want more women to understand how strong and smart and powerful we are, and we are truly stronger together. So the more conversations like this that we have, the stronger we get together, and then we create real lasting legacy and change. So share this with a friend. Again, any questions, just let me know. I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm going to go do my compass planner now, do my journaling now, and then, guess what? I have a podcast today with Joel Freeman. That's right. You're jealous. I could spend an hour just looking at and having conversation with Joel Freeman today. Yes, I do. So I got to go prep for that. And it's going to be a good day. And I think I also have a leg day with Joel Freeman. So it's not all fun and games over here. So I'm going to hate him, and then I'm going to like him. But we're going to have a good time. That podcast episode will be out a little bit later. So have an amazing day. Make it an amazing day. Most of all, go keep your promises to yourself. Promise me that you will keep your promises to yourself. Go make it an awesome Tuesday.